I'm Miguel from Blood on the Harp, and you're watching Good Company.
Gonna build mama a coffin, I'm gonna make it out of pine. There'll be tears from sister to make those hinges.
Hey guys, my name's Scott Boland, and you're watching Good Company. Today I have Miguel. Miguel is the lead singer and guitar player of Blood on the Harp. Blood on the Harp is an Atlanta-based band. They kind of have a country sound, and man, I'm looking forward to talking to Miguel, man.
Thank you for having me.
How you been, brother?
Been doing good.
So good, man. So you got your first album, Ghost, man. Like, how did you guys get together and form this group?
I was actually tattooing, and I tattooed a young lady, and she had told me her boyfriend played upright bass. Mm-hmm. And I got drunk one night at the shop and started playing music. My boss was like, "Oh, I didn't know that you sang music." And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "You should get a band." And forever, he and I, the bass player, both were like, "We don't want to be in any bands anymore. It's too much stress." But those two, my boss and my friend, pushed us together. And then from that point, we just met other people along the way. You know,
Really?
It just kind of, they clicked into place as we started playing music together.
Wow. So who is, when you guys first started, did you have a female with you? Because you guys have this awesome female singer present. Did you guys have that from the start? Or was that kind of a...
We didn't. At first, we were a three-piece band, and we had a banjo player, and he was a guy that had worked with me at the shop. And once again, the lady, Rachel Blair, that put us together, she said, "You should hear my best friend sing. She's incredible." And she came, which is Keena Graham, is the young lady that sings with us. And she would listen to us practice, and she wouldn't say anything. She'd just listen, and then she'd just leave. She wouldn't say goodbye or anything. She'd just leave. And I was like, well, I guess she's not interested. And then she came back to rehearsal about a month later, and apparently she'd been recording the songs on her phone. And she sat down and just started singing with us and playing this old 1800s pump organ that we had, and started singing melody with me. She already knew the words and everything, and we've just been together ever since.
So when you're writing, do you write with the group, or are you saying you write your own lyrics and the band kind of writes their own stuff? Is that how it's...
Yeah, I typically sit on the couch at home and I write the song, and then I go to the rehearsal spot and I show it to them, and then they just start putting everything together. And I always get really excited when I hear it, because it's almost, when you write a song, you have an idea of what you want it to sound like. But then when you hear these other people just start throwing what they think sounds best on top of it, man, it really brings it to life, and you get really excited and start. I mean, most of the time we get halfway through a song and I have to stop because I'm laughing because it sounds so good, you know what I mean? And you know, I think as a band, when we first got together, I think everybody was trying to play what they think I wanted to hear on the song. And then we all just got together and was like, you know, y'all just play whatever you want to play.
Really?
Because I love what they do, and I love the sounds that they create, and we don't ever have any discrepancies in the band room. It's just every time. Someone may hear an idea and be like, "Hey, play this part here instead." But for the most part, everyone just does their own thing in the band.
Wow. How hard is it writing a song? Because I mean, your songs are kind of deep and great lyrics.
Thank you.
Do you have to go away and kind of get in a certain headspace to get in that?
I do. You know, I had written these songs. Most of the songs are on the first record were written 10 years before that record ever came out, when I would feel really insecure about my voice, really insecure about the things that had happened to me. And so I sang them as a means for healing for me in my living room. And then my friends were the ones that pushed me to play. And it is hard writing, because I don't write songs that are just fictional. Everything I've written is something that's happened to me, and it can be embarrassing. And so I have to learn how to write in a more cryptic fashion, so I feel more comfortable that no one knows exactly what I'm saying, and they can just make their own interpretation of what's being said. Because when you stand in front of a crowd full of people, it's different when you're sitting on the couch. There's no one in the living room. But when you have to stand in front of a bunch of people, I get really insecure. And I think that people are reading into it more than what they really are. And I feel like every vocalist goes through that.
What was that like when you first started playing some shows and kind of being the front man?
I felt like explosive diarrhea.
Did you?
Like I was gonna shit all over myself because, you know, what I didn't know then that I know now is a lot of people in this industry, they do get hooked on drugs and alcohol because standing in front of people and spilling your guts out is not easy.
Yeah.
And so, you know, a shot of whiskey makes you brave. You know, a Valium down the gullet will make you a lot braver. And when at some point you have to stop taking all that stuff and you have to just tell your story, and it becomes even harder when you have to approach it from that angle.
So you eventually you did that kind of more sober, trying to do that in front of an audience?
Well,
kind of.
Well, I mean, you know, you think you sound great when you're drunk,
right?
You know, but the truth is, real friends will tell you, you did, that wasn't the greatest, you know, and then you're like, I got to stop drinking, you know, and so yeah, so at some point you got to stop, and now you know, years into this band, we all play sober. And yeah, I mean, it's a struggle. We're all adults. Everybody wants to not be told that they can't have a drink before they play. But, you know, it's recorded half the time on cell phones. And when you go back and look at your YouTube channel and you see all these people uploading videos of you and you can hear what you sound like, that's real embarrassing. And you can't take those videos down. Those are other people's videos. You can't destroy their right to post their content, you know. And so you learn to go the straight and narrow and leave all those demons back on the couch in the living room. And you got to express them in different ways.
Going back to this record, I want to talk about a couple of songs on here that really stick out. The whole album kind of sticks out, but Coming Home is a great song.
Thank you.
Left by One. Can you talk about that just for a minute? Because that's for people that want to, you know, download that song or buy it. That's a great song, man. Can you talk about that for a minute?
Yeah.
Left by One. That really stuck out.
It's I had went through a really hard decision in my life, as most people do. You know, having a child and being in a relationship that is toxic for the both of you, not just one-sided. I had to leave that situation, and I held in a lot of guilt over that, and the only way I knew how to get over that was to blame the other person for everything, you know, and knowing that I had a huge role in that. But at the end of the story, the person that I had trusted let me down, and I felt maybe a bit of karma on my part, what I deserved. But it's not also just about me. The young lady in my band, Keena Graham, she was going through a real painful divorce. And my bass player had, years previous, had gone through a painful divorce. And we were all in a dark spot, and I just took the pain that I had, and I knew the pain they were experiencing, and I wrote a song that could speak to everyone in the band. And I didn't make it about me. I wanted to make it something that when they're playing it, they're feeling it. And it's basically just the real inside of a relationship where, you know, all the smiles are on the outside. And every couple you see, you look up to, you're like, that's the model relationship that I want to be in. But behind closed doors, they're breaking shit. They're screaming at each other. They're cheating on each other. There's all kinds of things that go into a real relationship, and the pain that comes out of that and who you become after it's over, you have that downward spiral. And that song is just was meant to be written for everybody in the band at that time.
That's cool. So like it's like the music is a therapy to kind of get you through it.
It is, and you know, when you sing it, it reminds you of that time and it puts you in that dark spot. But I like to write songs that are real so that when I sing them, they don't become boring. I relive that moment every single time, and I know they do too, and I can hear it in the band room, even at band practice. These songs never become platonic. They're always emotional for everybody. And going back to being sober, when you're drunk, you can hide behind that emotion, but playing sober, you have to relive it, and it becomes even more of a challenge to relive it and feel it. So.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. What's it like when you have you write your music and you harmonize with your other singer? What's her name?
Her name is Keena.
Keena, okay.
Yeah.
When you're harmonizing with her, do you guys write together just so she can hear like what you're doing? Like how's that work? Because you guys blend really well.
Well, I have to give all the credit to her. I wish I knew how to harmonize. I know how to sing. I get by. Keena is one of the most beautiful individuals I've ever met, inside and out. And she can hear anything, and she can turn it to gold. And it's just natural to her. And she comes from a very troubled past and childhood. And we bond on those things because we had similar lives growing up. And so when I write a song, she listens to it, and she always tells me she can relate to it. And she always tells me how it's hard for her to sing it sometimes because she feels like she can relate to it so much. But I sing, her harmonies come directly from her. She works all the magic on that end, man. I'm just the dude behind the guitar. She's the one that plays the piano, and she's incredible. I mean, she's the mastermind behind the melody completely. Even we have a third part harmony in the band now, and he's incredible with the way he sings with us. But even she orchestrates a lot of that. That is her through and through. So.
And with this first album, did you guys have, like, how many members was it? It seems a little smaller. Like maybe, did you have a drummer, or was it just?
No, we didn't have a drummer. We were a string band, and I was the one with the chip on my shoulder, where I was like, I don't want a drummer. I want that old Appalachian sound, old Ralph Stanley, Louvin Brothers. I wanted that sound. That's what moved me the most. And after that record, we met a guy that played with a local Atlanta band called I Want Whiskey. Incredible band. And he just approached us, or rather Keena, and mentioned maybe coming and playing some songs with us, and I was totally against it. And then he came into the band room and played with us, and then there's no way I can do it without him now, so locked into that one. So it gives it a lot more life, man.
Is he just on the kit? Or is he doing like percussion work, like maybe djembe or cajon, or?
No, he's straight up rock and roll drummer, man. He holds back a lot for us because he wants to add a lot of technique to it, and he wants to give it a lot of dynamics, and he really thinks about it, as he puts it together. But the rest of us now don't want him to hold back anymore. We're like, just rock out, man. Like, it's way more fun on stage. It's just rock out. Like,
so that brings me a good point. So the first album was not with him. The second album that is soon, June 1st.
Yeah, June 1st.
Is he on this album?
He is on that album. He kills that record. He did really well, and he was still new with us when we recorded this record, and so he had a lot of pressure to learn all these songs in a short amount of time. And he definitely took the challenge and was like, he never sweated it a bit. He was like, I got it, no problem.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And with this, I noticed, like, is there some electric guitar in there too, right?
Yeah.
Is that new?
No, that's the same guy. That's Chris Johnson. He's Noonan, local talent that I found and fell in love with the way he played guitar. Him and his brother, Josh Johnson, played music together. And there's something about him. And I just went up to him and said, hey, I really like the way you play music. Would you like to come and jam with us? And he was on acoustic for a while. And once again, chip on my shoulder, he was like, I want to play electric. And I was like, no, man, like, I want it to sound old, And he's like, I can make it sound old. And so, yeah, now he plays electric, and I like it a lot, man. I love it, actually.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So when is this coming out? June 1st. Are you guys going to do, like, what are you going to do with this? Are you going on tour with this, or?
We're in the works and talking to some other people about some possible tour dates. Back in January, as I told you, we did a couple days with West End Motel, and now we're kind of just wanting to support ourselves on this record and maybe go up the East Coast. And we have some friends we want to take along with us. But right now, the main focus is just pushing the record as hard as we can and seeing what doors will open for us. Trying to get on some bigger shows, some opening for some more national acts. But everything's in the middle of talking right now, and hopefully that'll pan out for the best.
That's awesome, man. So what's the best way to people get in contact with you? You got a webpage?
We do. We have a website, which is the band, bloodontheharp.com. We have an Instagram, we have a Facebook, we have on social media, Amazon Music, iTunes, Spotify. We can be streamed on all those, and we do have a booking agent, and so any emails that go, usually you can just email bloodontheharp@gmail.com, and Our Lady will get right back to you like instantly.
Wow.
No wait time. She's really on everything and really professional. So
That's awesome, man. And where do you work at? You work at you tattoo artist as well.
yeah,
That's
I work
kinda cool.
at I work at Live Free Tattoo in Grant Park.
How long have you been doing that for?
I've been tattooing 18 years. Yeah.
It's cool. Did you take like a break from music to do tattooing, or was this a?
I took a break from music to raise a family. You know, I had a little boy, and I was in a metal band, and I needed to take a break to be more responsible and be present in his life and not on the road. And I made the right decision, and that's not to knock anyone who doesn't make that decision, because it can work either way. You only get one shot, you know. But yeah, I took a break from music to be a father, and my son now is 12 years old, and he comes to all the shows with me, and
Oh, that's cool.
I love being able to devote time to music again. It really has helped me more than anything. So.
That's awesome, man. Well, dude, I appreciate you being here, man. This has
God,
been great.
Thank you so much, man.
Thank
really
you, man.
appreciate it.
Appreciate
Yeah.
it, brother.
Gonna build mama a coffin, I'm gonna make it out of pine. There'll be tears from sister, make those hinges